Hi, I'm Beth Redman and I'm the Global Ambassador for the A21 campaign. Meet this lady called Christine Caine. She tells me about human trafficking and I'm thinking, what could I possibly do about this issue? And she likens it to it being like a cry in the night. And that's something I could relate to because I was going through a season where one of my children would wake up in the middle of the night screaming for no reason. And I don't know what it was, but it seemed to me that only the mother could hear the cry. Everyone else stayed asleep. And so obviously, when I heard the cry, I would get up and I'd go and do something about it. And I wanted to bring relief and bring comfort and bring calm. And Christine likened the issue of human trafficking to being like a cry that goes out in the night. But my ears weren't tuned to it. I wasn't awake. I wasn't intent on wanting to do something about it. But now I knew that there were 27 million slaves. Now I knew that there were children as young as 5, children my own children's age who were trapped. There was no door that they could walk through. There was no parent who could come and pick them up and bring relief. And the cry was going out. And what was I going to do? Say, well, I'm sorry, my life is already too full? Shortly after I met Christine Caine, she took me to Greece to see firsthand the work of the A21 campaign, to visit the shelters and meet the girls who've been rescued and who are being rehabilitated. Nothing can quite prepare you for what you're about to see and hear. We went through the red light district where prostitution is legal. We saw a young girl, much younger than my own daughter, dressed in black, salacious clothing, after midnight, rain pouring, one eye on her pimp as the car pulled up and she got in and the car drove away. And you knew where she was going and you knew what she was going to be forced to do, and it was the time of night when she should have been in bed and safe and warm. She's dressed in a woman's clothing being forced into sexual exploitation. We went on to the shelter and saw a girl as young as 12 who'd been sold by her parents. You can't even begin to comprehend that somebody would use somebody as a commodity, abandon them, throw them away. And she found herself in the shelter, rescued, her life turned around from tragedy to triumph. That we can't do everything, but we can all do something. And I began to realise that maybe my life was a little bit stuck on zoom in, and the things right in front of me, and my life was full and my plate was full and my heart was full. But we live in an I generation. We've got iPhones, iPads, iPods. We're an I-centered world, not intentionally me, but you know, am I happy? Am I living the dream? Am I getting enough rest? And we sometimes forget, or I forgot, that there was a lost and hurting world right outside of my already busy plate. We just heard in the UK this last week that human trafficking in our country, the sexual exploitation of children, is up 155%. The 27 million slaves around the world just got closer and closer to home. And Christine's told us about the work of A21. And I hope you're not still feeling overwhelmed. I hope that maybe, just maybe, you realise that there is something you can do. You've heard the cry. And on the A21 website, there are 21 ways that you can get involved. And you might be a young person here and just think, what can I do? We've got a school's curriculum. You can have A21 come in your school. You can lead a small group. You can have a lunchtime club. If you're a teacher, you might want to take that curriculum in to raise awareness. You might want to become a prayer. You might want to become a giver. You might want to become someone who actually interns or works for the A21 campaign. There are so many things that you can do. We can't do nothing, we can't do everything, but we can all do something. Thank you so much.
We've got to rise up, open our eyes up, be her voice, be her freedom, come and stand up. We've got to rise up, open our eyes up, be her voice, be her freedom, come and stand up.